The vessels in port represented, as I have said, a huge range from 18th and 19th century style sailing ships to modern style yachts, from steamboats to ultra-modern hydrogen-powered cargo vessels. The enormous ships at anchor in the bay were the anti-magnetic, anti-gravitational vessels I'd been told about. Out of action, they floated on the water, however, when carrying their several thousand-ton loads. They traveled at speeds of 70 to 90 knots, just above the water, and that, without making any noise. It was explained to me that the classic vessels represented in the port belonged to people of distant lands, India, Japan, China, which had been colonized by Mu, but which did not yet have the capacity to take advantage of technological advance. In this regard, I also learned from Lashnasi that the leaders of Mu kept secret much of their scientific knowledge, for example, nuclear energy, anti-gravitation and ultrasounds. This policy ensured that they maintained their supremacy on Earth and guaranteed their security. The scene was cut and we found ourselves back on the landing field, looking at a night view of the city. It was lit up, quite uniformly, by large globes, as was the path of Ra, the road which led to the palace of Savansa. Globes positioned in the sculptured colonnades along the avenue illuminated it, as though it were day. It was explained to me that these globes, which were spherical in shape, converted nuclear energy into light and had the capacity to be working thousands of years into the future without extinguishing. I confess I didn't understand, but I believed it must be so. Another scene change, and it was daylight. The Grand Avenue and the palace gardens had been invaded by crowds of people brightly dressed, and there was an enormous white ball attached to the top of the pyramid. Apparently, the king, whom I had seen meditating in the pyramid, had died just prior to the gathering of the crowd. With much noise, the ball exploded and a unanimous cry of joy rose from the people. This astonished me, as death usually inspires tears, but my companions explained it as follows. Michel, you don't remember the lessons we taught you. When the physical body dies, the astral being is liberated. These people also know it and celebrate the event. In 3 days' time, the astral body of the king will leave earth to rejoin the Great Spirit, for this king has conducted himself in an exemplary manner during this final life on earth, despite very difficult responsibilities and tasks required of him. I had no answer, and I felt ashamed of being caught out by Thao for my forgetfulness.